Tonight on NewsVision, chaos on South Beach after 2 people are shot and killed on one of Miami Beach's busiest streets during spring break. We'll tell you what authorities are doing to prevent further violence.
We have the police presence we need, but events are still happening and crimes are still happening. So the only solution at this point is just to stop spring break.
Plus, TikTok may be on the clock. Universities and lawmakers across the country increase pressure on the Chinese social media giant over national security concerns.
We've made very clear our national security concerns about that particular application. That's why it's been banned on government devices.
And later on, we will introduce you to one group of cancer survivors that has come together to try their hand in an ancient Chinese sport.
So I get out there in that boat and I forget about all the problems on the water.
Good evening and welcome back to NewsVision. I'm Bella Papaduke.
And I'm Jayra Rivero. Thank you for joining us this evening. It's spring break in Miami and thousands of people are descending on Miami Beach. But the city has declared a state of emergency over the weekend after a deadly shooting and is now closing liquor stores early. And Brooke Isles has tonight's top story.
Every year, hundreds of thousands of people travel to Miami Beach for spring break. But once again, the fun has been cut short because of violence in the streets.
I mean, I know a lot of people drink here and they want to, turn up and everything, but it's like, I feel like that's probably the problem, drinking and mixing, because you're not really in control of your emotion or yourself at that point.
This is Abish's first time visiting Miami, but the violence has left him and others looking over their shoulders.
And that kind of made me and my group of friends, more cautious.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's gotten a bit out of control the last few years. A few knuckleheads are spoiling it for everybody else.
Last weekend, spring breakers could stay out all night. But after 2 deadly shootings on Saturday and Sunday, the city ordered a curfew starting at midnight. And many visitors were not happy with the city.
Look, man, I traveled a long way to be here, so it does suck that we have to go inside a little bit early. This is where all the activity is.
Crime is clearly the #1 problem local officials say they must address. But making sure residents' lives aren't affected by tourists is a close second.
Look, we don't want spring break. We don't ask for it. We don't advertise for it. We don't want people to come here for it. We don't think it's particularly good for a residential community to have tens of thousands of young people.
But one lawyer who represents many Miami Beach businesses says Mayor Gelber is being disingenuous.
We, like the city of Miami Beach, doesn't want spring break. I mean, that's just categorically not true, right? I represent plenty of people who want spring break.
Last Tuesday, a District 11 judge ruled in favor of a new city ordinance restricting liquor sales at large venues south of 5th Street. The law would take effect in 30 days and ban the sale of alcohol after 2 a.m. at venues with more than 100 people. Mayor Gelber took to Twitter after the ruling, saying this is a residential neighborhood that should not have to endure 24-hour nightclubs. But one of the businesses Mr. Burstand represents is the nightclub Story. He says the city has not tried to work with the club and that the new ordinance feels like it is targeting the establishment.
Because Story is one of the few nightclubs that actually does have metal detectors. Story is probably the safest place to be on spring break. And so to shut down Story because half a mile away on Ocean Drive, there's a crowd that the city commissioners haven't been able to figure out how to handle really makes no sense.
The club says they will appeal the judge's ruling, but city officials say laws like these will keep spring breakers and residents safe. Reporting for UMTV, I'm Brooke Isles.
On top of spring break, people are arriving in Miami for Ultra this weekend, which is one of the largest electronic music festivals. Reporter Charlie Hill joins us now live from the location of the festival in downtown Miami. Charlie, what can we expect this weekend?
Yeah, Bella, there's a lot going on. I'm here at Bayfront Park where Ultra Music Festival is here. Well, almost. Right behind me, you can see them setting up the main stage where performers and headliners like Martin Garrix and David Guetta will be. Now, we talked to workers and they said this whole thing took over a month to set up and they're expecting over 160,000 people to be in attendance. So Miami-Dade police will be in full force to ensure that everybody is safe. And amongst other safety issues, police and fire rescue are expecting to deal with issues like drug use, trafficking, dehydration, and theft. The event starts tomorrow, but for For now, live for UMTV at Bayfront Park, I'm Charlie Hill.
Thank you, Charlie. After 2 years, a business project funded by the Miami Downtown Development Authority remains unfinished. And as Wyatt Kopelman explains, that has only raised more uncertainty for some local businesses.
Businesses in downtown Miami expect to thrive. But a new 5-stage development project funded by the city is making owning a business challenging for many businesses on the street.
It's very nice, beautiful, but unfortunately, it's not bringing no customers, no traffic of people in. I believe only after they open the street for the cars, then that might bring a little bit more people.
Since May of 2021, the Downtown Development Authority has invested $27 million into redesigning the Flagler Street corridor from Biscayne Boulevard to West 1st Avenue, a distance of 5 blocks. And the project has required the Downtown Development Authority to install new lighting and seating areas, making many unsure how long the construction will take.
I mean, this is not like a brand new street that you are digging and burying. No, you are digging and finding what it is down there and trying to bury it without doing anything to whatever is damaging any of the areas, water pipes and everything that is buried on it.
One day it's raining, one day it's not raining, but they don't have the material. It was very, very, very hard to hear them every day saying that it's going to be soon, and we are 2 years later, no cars, no nothing going around here yet.
The ongoing construction on the street has made businesses be creative to find ways to stay open. And last December, the Downtown Development Authority donated nearly $200,000 to affect businesses.
If you don't benefit the residents, you cannot benefit the business, and vice versa. They complement each other. And that's the only way that downtown Miami could survive.
The restoration project will continue through 2024. And despite the construction, the city's optimistic new businesses will open in the vacant retail spaces. Reporting for UMTV, I'm Wyatt Kopelman.
Back to campus now, where many students have been voicing their anger with the state. They're protesting Florida's recent restrictions on classroom instruction related to sexual orientation and gender. Most of the controversy surrounds parental rights in education and the nickname Don't Say Gay bill. Dozens of students gathered at the Lakeside patio to express their frustration with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Students and faculty are asking the UM community to get involved on issues they say dive deeper than it seems.
I think that it's important that trans students, queer students know that higher administration is on our side. Because it's not exactly reassuring when they're silent, when people's lives are at stake at the end of the day.
Students hope these issues can attract more attention and LGBTQ allies for more discussions during upcoming presidential primaries.
Still ahead on NewsVision, could art and entertainment be the answer to saving the oceans from litter and pollution? After the break, we'll tell you how one organization is using virtual reality to make an impact. Stay with us.
Observe a domesticated human family in their natural habitat, known to their species as the backyard.
Hey, you think I should light it now? I think it's good. Yeah?
Oh dear, someone is about to burn a pile of debris that's too tall, which can start a wildfire. Wait, could it be? Blimey, it is.
It's Smokey.
It's Smokey Bear. What a legend.
Hey, it's Smokey. Sorry, it was too high. Right.
Watch as he astutely ensures that there's no wind, and how he removes some of the debris to create a smaller, safer burning pile.
No, you said make it bigger, baby. The bigger, the better.
Take note of our fearless furry friend here, humans.
I appreciate it. Fist bump.
Watching you.
Smokey's done it again.
Bye, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Russian President Vladimir Putin met with Chinese President Xi Jinping in Moscow this week to discuss China's proposal for resolving the crisis in Ukraine. The meeting comes as the U.S. announced another $350 million in assistance for Ukraine. This is Xi's first visit to Russia since the country invaded Ukraine. Last month, China's foreign ministry released a position paper on the Ukraine war, calling for peace talks and stating Beijing's opposition to using nuclear weapons. Xi also used Monday's visit to show his support for Putin's re-election next year.
He and his regime keeps parroting the Russian propaganda that this is somehow a war of the West on Russia, that it's some sort of existential threat to Mr. Putin. That's just a bunch of malarkey. Ukraine posed no threat to anybody, let alone Russia.
Many Western leaders remain skeptical about Beijing's role as a peacemaker. The U.S. has encouraged the Chinese president to speak with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to get his perspective, but no talks have been confirmed between the two.
Millions of Americans use TikTok daily, and hundreds of thousands have used it to create and share their own content. However, the app's future on college campuses in Florida is up in the air with a new proposal from Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis. Cal Friedman has more.
Filming camera?
Content creator Sky Solomon has had a bigger impact than she'd imagined at the University of Miami. She considered UM late, so it's a surprise that this junior has brought hundreds of fans to Coral Gables, virtually and physically.
I literally had this boy come up to me and he was like, I can see myself through you, like living the life at University of Miami. And like that was the one day where I was just like, wow, like this is insane.
Solomon has nearly 300,000 followers on TikTok. The social media sensation has boomed in popularity since its inception. TikTok has taken over the lives of social media users all across America. According to Time magazine, 80 million monthly users use TikTok, 60% of whom are between the ages of 16 and 24. But that age group has some concerns about where they can use the app going forward. Data concerns have already shut down the app in Washington, D.C., ahead of testimony from CEO Shou Chu.
As you also know, we've made very clear our national security concerns about that particular application. That's why it's been banned on government devices.
Meanwhile, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis proposed the shutdown of TikTok on university Wi-Fi due to concerns with spread of misinformation and data security.
Network security and data security for us is like priority one after like public safety. We spend millions and millions of dollars on network security for our college.
The University of Miami would still be exempt from DeSantis' proposal as a private university, but UM could still lean towards these proposals.
Although Miami is a private institution, we do rely upon federal funds for student aid and for a lot of our research grants.
So I think that's a horrible idea. I have learned so much from TikTok professionally. A lot of the times our generation is getting important details like that are going on in the world from TikTok, from professionals like news broadcasters who have TikTok that are letting us know what's going on in a friendly manner.
It's still to be determined on how many other schools will follow suit with DeSantis. Reporting for UMTV, I'm Cal Friedman.
The Federal Reserve has announced a quarter-point interest rate hike at Wednesday's meeting. The increase comes amid high inflation and concerns about the U.S. banking system. This was the 9th straight interest rate increase since the Fed started tightening in March 2022 in an attempt to bring down record inflation. The federal fund rate stands at about 5%, with more tightening expected despite multiple high-profile bank failures. And during his press conference, Chairman Powell assured Americans that their deposits are safe.
You've seen that we have the tools to protect depositors when there's a threat of serious harm to the economy or to the financial system, and we're prepared to use those tools. And I think depositors should assume that their deposits are safe.
The Fed is forecasting another quarter-point hike at their next meeting in May, since inflation remains way above the central bank's 2% target.
More than 420,000 students in the Los Angeles Unified School District are on their 3rd day of staying home from school because of a massive service worker and teacher strike. Local 99 of the Service Employees International Union is made up of teacher aides, special education assistants, bus drivers, custodians, and other staff. Its workers walked out on Monday after waiting for new pay and contract deals for years. They went on strike after nearly a year of failed negotiations with the LA Unified School District. The union workers say average salaries in the district are around $25,000, and many school employees have to work additional jobs to make ends meet.
The Manhattan grand jury hearing on former President Trump's alleged hush money payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels did not meet on Wednesday, delaying any indictment of the former president. The payments were allegedly made just days before the 2016 election. Although paying hush money is not illegal, the Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg claims it violates campaign finance laws. And in 2018, Trump's former attorney Michael Cohen pleaded guilty to tax evasion and breaking the campaign finance laws relating to the 2016 payment. Speaker McCarthy spoke on the matter, saying political differences should be separated from justice.
It doesn't matter what side of the issue you're on. It doesn't matter if this was President Trump or if this was a Democrat. It should be equal justice in America. And stop going after people because you have political differences.
Trump denies wrongdoing but has made claims that he expects to be arrested, calling for protests to, quote, take our nation back. And police departments across the country are preparing for any backlash to the possible arrest.
Could art and entertainment really be the answer to saving an ocean flooded with litter and pollution? As Ainsley Vetter shows us, one organization here in Miami is here to encourage people to start doing their part.
There are things we need as humans to survive: food to eat, air to breathe, and jobs to support ourselves. But these things could literally float away if we don't start trying to protect our ocean. With National Geographic reporting over 5 trillion pieces of plastic in the ocean, one organization has arrived in Miami using a method they call impactainment to spread awareness and spark action to conserve the ocean.
We're trying to provide fun, immersive experiences for audiences, from families during the daytime to premium fine dining in the evening.
Hetwer's organization, entitled Our Hidden Worlds, created the Our Ocean, Our Future pop-up exhibit. It features immersive screens, conservation-focused artwork, cocktails with ingredients that will help rather than hurt the ocean, such as kelp and mangrove honey, and a 360-degree immersive experience.
I think it's great because you're immersed in the ocean, you see what it's like from above the water, and then when you're in the water, and it makes you feel like you're actually in it. So I think it's a really good experience.
Hetwer says the exhibit focuses on issues where people can physically make a change, such as single-use plastic prevention, like avoiding plastic cups and straws, and choosing to eat foods with ingredients from regenerative farming practices. But Hetwer says the mission is far from over.
If you have a good time, if you have a positive emotion, your mind is usually open to making changes, and that's what we're trying to promote here.
Reporting for UMTV, I'm Ainsley Vetter.
Thank you, Ainsley. We told you earlier about the preparations for the Ultra Music Festival this weekend.
But will the weather hold out?
Our webcaster, Quinn Davidson, has more. Quinn?
I honestly do not think Ultra could have been chosen on a better weekend here in Miami. The weather is supposed to be absolutely spectacular. Right now we are comfortable sitting at 77 degrees here in Miami, 79 in Naples, and a bit warmer in Fort Myers at 83 degrees. There is a high pressure system situated over the Atlantic Ocean, allowing for those eastern flow of winds to come into our region today, which allowed for that cooler beach breeze. This is not the case over the next few days, as temperatures are gradually going to increase. As that high pressure system moves closer, the winds are veering in from the south, allowing for that warm Caribbean water and air to flow into this region, allowing for that uptick in those temperatures. Looking at that high temperature forecast, the average temperature for this time of year is 81 degrees. Nearly every single day in the next 7 days is forecasted to be above that average. You can see that gradual warming trend, reaching 85 degrees by Tuesday, 84 on Monday, and then cooling down just a bit for some relief on Wednesday and Thursday. We'll be in the low 80s. Looking at our beach forecast, the rip current risk is still high with those eastern winds, so definitely heed instructions. We love to care about safety here at the beaches. And speaking of safety, if you are in the south or know anyone in these areas in the south, there is a moderate risk of severe weather in the areas in the red, and an even more severe risk of a 15% chance of an EF2 tornado or stronger within a 25-mile radius in the areas in the red. So definitely a very dangerous situation unfolding in those areas tomorrow. So definitely, if you know anyone in those areas, make sure they are staying weather weather aware. And looking at our 7-day forecast, we have temperatures in the mid-80s gradually warming up to the upper 80s and then cooling down by next week. Andrew?
Thank you, Quinn. Time for a short break, but when we continue, the men's and women's basketball teams are still dancing in the NCAA tournament, moving to the Sweet 16. We'll be right back.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. Of course, it's awkward to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping. Hey, bestie, how's sketches, baby? It's hard to get their attention. Ready? Go. Yes, look at that. You didn't turn yours over. So if you want to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping, you have to get it trending. Right, Backpack Kid?
Let's do it.
First, invite your kid to do the vape talk. Let's try this. All right.
Why is he here?
Yeah, I gotta get it trending, honey.
Come on. Let's go.
Oh, honey, can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
I see a lot of your friends vaping.
Visit talkaboutVaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
Thank you for staying with NewsVision. I'm sports anchor Andrew Klein. On Monday, the Hurricanes women's basketball teams played one of the greatest games in program history, advancing to their first Sweet 16 since 1992. Let's take a look at how they got it done. First period, pick things up here. Lola Pendande going to work. She fires, fading, knocks that one down. 19 on the ball game for Lola to lead all Hurricanes. Now Miami in the fast break. Jalea Williams weaving through defenders. Destiny Harden wide open. One of her 3 3-pointers on the day. She had 18 points for Miami. Now the Hurricanes on the fast break after a steal by Carla Ariavets. Cavender inside, Harden, and one. Miami takes a 14-point lead, their biggest of the night. But Indiana not going away. Grace Berger cuts into that lead with a big 3-pointer. Now, fourth quarter, 3-point game. Yarden Garzon from downtown, the freshman from Israel, ties this ball game up after a few Miami free throws. How about an encore? Garzon, the crossover, the step back for 3 to tie the ball game with 6.6 to go. But Miami still an opportunity to win. Who will they give it to? It's Harden. She falls in. Shot goes down. Miami takes a 2-point lead, 70-68. Indiana still one more opportunity. Chloe Moore McNeil, can she get a shot off? No, she can't. She's stripped by Jasmine Roberts, and the Hurricanes win and go to the Sweet 16 for the first time under Coach Katie Meyer. But the Hurricanes women's team is not the only group of dancing canes, as the men's team is dancing as well. They're going to the Sweet 16 on Friday against Houston. The men's team is looking to make it to the Sweet 16, the Elite Eight, for the second straight year after their first ever appearance that came last year. This is going to be a tough one for Miami offensively. Houston's one of the best teams in the country, and the Hurricanes have struggled on the defensive end at 181st in efficiency in the entire NCAA. And basketball is not the only big thing going on right now in March, as the Miami Open is taking place right here in Miami at Hard Rock Field. Daryl Barnes is Miami Open on the third day of action. Daryl, what's going on in the tournament so far?
Hey, Andrew, I'm not going to lie to you. The Miami Open started off on Tuesday with a little bit of disappointing news. You had a lot of stars pulling out. Iga Swiatek, the #1 women's tennis player, and then also some of the iconic stars on the men's side like Nadal, Djokovic, they all pulled out of the tournament. But that put more attention on the stars that are playing here, like the hometown kid, Coco Gauff. She grew up just 45 minutes away, so she's got a lot of friends and family here watching her, and she also won in straight sets inside the stadium earlier today. So a lot of eyes focus on her, but there's a lot of eyes also focused on some of the other things going on at this tournament. The Miami Open, one of the biggest tourism events in South Florida and in Miami. The tourism officials say that it brings in an estimated $390 million every year. That's because of food, art, vendors, a lot of stuff going on in here outside of tennis. But the actual tournament itself runs until next weekend with a championship match on Sunday. So live from Hard Rock Stadium, Daryl Barnes, UMTV.
Thanks, Daryl and Andrew. And coming up after the show, UMTV's one and only late-night comedy show Off the Wire has its 3rd episode of the season. Doors open at 8:15 and the show starts at 8:30, and everyone is welcome. NewsVision will be right back.
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive, CWX. You're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular you.
Thank you for staying with us. An on-campus organization called Art of Healing has been trying to help children in need. This week, members made keychains for the kids at the Ronald McDonald House, which provides a place for families of sick children to call home so they can stay close by their hospitalized child at little to no cost. Every other week, the Art of Healing organization visits the Ronald McDonald House and does arts and crafts with the kids there. Everyone is welcome to participate in Art of Healing activities, but if you can't make it in person, the organization hosts events on campus every month where students can do arts and crafts for kids.
One ancient Chinese sport is said to limit the side effects of breast cancer treatment, but how can a sport decrease the chances of cancer? Reporter Ryan Marshall explains.
Across the Rickenbacker Causeway in Biscayne Bay, a team of breast cancer survivors gather weekly to participate in a unique sport.
Dragon boating it's a mind-body thing. I often feel like it's an active meditation.
It's called dragon boat racing. The sport is more than 2,000 years old and dates back to ancient China. In 1996, Canadian doctor Don McKenzie discovered that rigorous upper body exercise in breast cancer survivors could decrease their chances of developing a severe side effect after cancer treatment called lymphedema. And after Dr. McKenzie's scientific breakthrough, a group of breast cancer survivors in Vancouver, Canada, were the first people who attempted to tame the dragon.
He did a study, and after 1 year, he said, okay, ladies, I have all of my material, I'm done. They said, oh no, this is too good, this is too great, we've got to keep going.
After Dr. McKenzie published his study 2 years later, the sport boomed amongst breast cancer survivors. And in 2007, Kim Bonomo founded Save Our Sisters, the first dragon boat racing team of breast cancer survivors in South Florida.
So I get out there in that boat and I forget about all the problems on the water and the fact that every woman in that boat has had breast cancer. We're all in the same boat.
The team has survivors from ages 30 to 82 and they compete in races all around the world. The group is currently preparing for the Dragon Boat Festival hosted by the International Breast Cancer Paddlers Commission in New Zealand this April. And the ladies are ready for the challenge.
I've even had people at the rowing club, at Miami Rowing Club, and they'll say, what's up with the grandmothers? And we'll go out and we'll kick their ass.
And when the nonprofit team is not competing, they're out spreading awareness in the community.
Somebody's gonna see us and they're gonna remember to get their mammogram. Maybe somebody's gonna see us who was just recently diagnosed and they're gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna get through it. Look at those strong ladies.
To many, they may look like just a sports team, but to them, it's so much more. They are a group of sisters who will help each other no matter what, especially if they have to get treatment again.
We can play together, we work out together, we get healthy together, but if you have to take that route, for whatever reason, we will not leave that teammate alone.
Reporting for UMTV, I'm Ryan Marshall.
And finally, it is one of the most pawsome days of the year. It is National Puppy Day. National Puppy Day was established in 2006 by animal behaviorist Colleen Page. The day calls for people to adopt puppies from shelters and work toward putting an end to puppy farms and mills. Although undeniably adorable, puppies are a very large responsibility. The holiday encourages people to consider everything it takes to take care of a puppy before they adopt.
NewsVision has got the cutest puppies, as you guys saw right there.
I know, I can't wait to go hug my puppy.
Well, that's all the time we have for NewsVision tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Make sure to join us again right here next Thursday. We leave you now with photos of our cast and crew's puppies. Have a great night and stay safe.